Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by and gracing me with your presence. Okay, so today I am on day number 19 of my water slash natural electrolyte 40-day fast. Okay, and so I just wanted to say that so far I am doing really well. I feel really good. There are only a small amount of things that happen once I get up that I feel, but nothing very, detrimental. Okay. So when I get up in the morning, I still feel a little, I'm not even going to say it's nothing compared to the first week, because now I'm kind of coasting, and so I feel very well. Once I get my honey hit, I get my little spike, I'm going, my energy is good. Okay. And so I've been a little MIA for a couple of days, and I'm gonna fill y'all in on there's quite a couple things I have to talk about. Okay, so the days I've been MIA, my skin, I had something happen where I remember I told you guys, I want to say it was on the third day. It was like during your fast, don't take gifts, and it's actually something to do with that, because I received something, and somebody had offered me a soap, and this is supposed to be some kind of special soap, child. Okay, and so during those times I was filming, my skin was changing. I mean, that soap was eating through my skin, literally. Okay. Whew. And so even right now, I don't have any makeup on because I'm still trying to heal from what it did. It just felt like it really just rubbed my skin raw in a lot of areas of my face, and I still have like discoloration and things like that. So I don't want to touch it or throw makeup on it right now. So I'm kind of out and about just the way it is, because I want it to heal. Okay. So I gave that warning because when you're on this fast, you'll have things like that happen, attacks, or, whether they knew about it or not, whatever it was meant to distract me from continuing on in what I'm trying to do right now. And at first I was a little, distracted and worried about it, because it was changing my skin so rapidly, and and it was getting real flaky and getting real, like it was just getting real crazy. You can even see in my past videos the time it was changing, because I was trying to heal it and stuff by putting zinc on it and just covering it and just letting it heal with some what is the ADA ointment and stuff like that. So just trying to help it cure along its way. But I realized exactly what it was, just like intentional or unintentional, whatever, it was meant to take me off of my focus. And I'm not going to let that, because if it had to come that strong, if it had to come that hard like that, then there's definitely something amazing on the other end of this fast. Okay. So I'm going to post my scale weight, how much water loss I'm down to. Last time I checked, it was like 152 or something like that, or whatever. But I'll check and I'll put it on here once I edit the video. Okay. So What else? Oh, okay, coconut. So I've been having for now these couple of weeks and things about these coconuts, and I had learned very interesting. Okay, so the first couple of the coconuts that I cracked open, like the flavor was not good until it was like my fourth or fifth coconut that I cracked open. And not only, I at first, when I first started trying to open a coconut, I started using a very large knife, and I started hacking at it. But then as I read more about opening coconuts on YouTube and things like that, I found that slamming it, was better, which it was, because I was able to get the coconut meat out easier than just hacking away. So I definitely, up my coconut skills. But when I started slamming one and cracking it, as it's cracked on the inside, there was like a molding on the inside. And I was like, ooh, I don't like, but it wasn't in the meat. It was between the meat and the shell. And so I wind up throwing, the coconut out. And so went on to my next coconut, and I slammed it and did the same ritual again. And when I took this coconut and I took the milk out of it, the coconut water out of it, man, was it sweet. It was sweet. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now, it was sweet, but still nasty. Okay, so I can see, why people drink coconut when it's right, and mix it with things. Yes, I can definitely see now. I understand. So I have to, fix my idea on what I think coconuts are and what they taste like. Now, I have gone to islands and other places and drank coconut there, and they still had that, but the ones I was given was pretty sweet. So I found out that I must have, picked wrong coconuts or something. But that could be a message in there for somebody that the next one that you choose is going to be the sweet one. It's going to be the right one. Don't worry about all the other ones that came before it. They just wasn't right. So, but that just lets me know about finding the right coconut, right? So that's what I found out. I think that's great. So I know, I ain't gonna say I know totally how to pick coconuts or whatever, but I watched some YouTube videos, and then when I get ready to buy my next batch, I'm gonna try out my skills. Okay. So moving on from that, talking about not not taking on gifts and stuff like that. But then I got a free gift in the mail. So I don't know if any of you have signed up for Bath and Body Works, but every year they give you a coupon, like a 20% off coupon for an item. And along with that, there's a coupon to get a free full price item. So I got one of those, and so I was like, okay, well, it expires in March, at the end of March. So I got plenty of time. So, but on that card, it said, it said princess. And then also it says, a new life. And it says fairy tale. That's what it said. And as you come to understand the matrix and what's going on here, it's the signs. And a lot of people don't see the signs in the matrix, the ones and the zeros and the trickling coming down, all of those represent the binary code in which a computer is programmed, and the ones and the zeros is how the computer communicates, in the system. And so a lot of people, when you awaken to see these signs. Now, I'm not saying that you're so into reading signs that you just think that that's a sign for everything. You know what I'm saying? But the ability to look out and pattern recognition and things like that definitely are things that happening during your awakening. And so when something special is coming your way, there actually are signs to let you know you're on the right path. Continue on. It is happening. It's not that you are the one that's controlling anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not, but you on that frequency, and you are, if that's something that you've been thinking, about, then it's on your way. Like I always said, something like a invitation or something to a wedding. All right. And so you receive an invitation for a wedding, and let's say it's been on your mind, about marriage and things like that or whatever. So when you get an invitation, it's almost like God's way of saying, I'm in the neighborhood. Okay? So that it's something that it's manifesting, is around you. When you see it show up around you, then it's coming into the physical for you. That's the same thing if you start saying, I want a certain car. As soon as you say, I want this particular car, how many times a day throughout the week do you start seeing that certain car or whatever all around you? See? So it's kind of like that. All right? And so for somebody, whatever the princess means, maybe somebody's name is princess, or for whatever that's been in your spirit, is something about the new life or the new beginning. Like I said, that the spring is the new beginning, of our year. So something new towards the spring could be occurring. And on the 17th of February, we entered into the year, this is a Chinese New Year, of the fire horse. And we'll be leaving, we already left the year of the snake. What was it? It was the wooden snake, in which the year of the wooden snake, a lot of things happen. Everybody always says, the year of the snake, something bad is going to happen. You know what? I tried to be in the beginning positive about it, because I was like, well, these are our lives. And it is never just all of it. You never just can't take all of it, all right? It's always, a half truth about it. Yeah, it can be all bad, but also that can be the year that becomes very special when somebody's baby is born. That is the year when somebody bought a house. That is the year when somebody won an award, or this, and it doesn't mean because it's not your year, things happen to you, doesn't mean that the whole thing is just trash. But we did have a lot of effed up stuff happen in 2025. the year of the snake. And what I said in that year about that is that I got that scripture that says, be wise as serpents, but be harmless as doves. Yes, it was a time where the age of Aquarius is a great time for wisdom and information. And what we were filled with, even though it came in as trauma or drama, it's also information that we needed to know. We needed to know what was going on in the underworkings of our government. And we need to understand the reasons why we have the lives that we have here today and what we have right now. And if we wasn't aware, we was going to continue to go down this path, because even if we felt like we took the other path, it doesn't matter, because the termites were still working under the foundations. This pedophile ring that you're finding out that the government's running and all this stuff, all those, whoever's in office, that is still working underneath. And the country is still having witchcraft like put on it. And what you were finding out in this time, that the authority and ability, what your government could do. And I always thought that when you're bringing order out of chaos, you are learning. See, we are learning. You don't stay traumatized. You turn that trauma into technology. And so how to rebuild your system if people do evil things to you and things like that, don't get mad. That's in their system. That's for them to do. That's not in my system. I deleted your file and I rebooted the system. And so the next time some BS cross my system like that again, throw up the firewall. Don't do malware. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So we it's the same thing what we're doing. Same as you're doing on a microcosm, you do it on a macrocosm. You do it on the larger scale. And we need to know what was going on. How is our money being spent? Why are our soldiers always going to war, for another country's sake? Well, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Why are we spending money? Why are we sending all this money for weapons? Why are we sending money so they can have stuff while you breadcrumb, which is supposed to be first, which is America's first? And you are finding out they offer Greenland, each of their people, to get them moved $100,000. Oh, you have the ability to give them each $100,000 for their home, but people are still hanging off of the $2,000 that you said that you would give them, and you did not, and you would not. So you think about that and find out if these people are tied in to that side chick over there, Easy. Okay? Because even if we would have went the other side, they still would have been catering to Izzy. Okay? And Izzy getting billions of dollars a year, getting $1 billion in weapons, so they can maintain their country. And of the people of the country still struggle for simple things. We should be able to be having free health care for our country like other countries do. We should be able to have free pharmacy and things like that, like Canada do. We should be able, like the country is putting in that much work in taxes and paying out so that the country would be able to benefit for things like there should not be any poverty in America. But it's impoverished because we're sending our money out in places so that people can have their private, for private things. Trump, all that stuff, guys, that's for his private things. So he's sending government money over to them to genocide people for the land for his private endeavors. Okay, that don't have nothing to do with the country. But think of it also too when. Okay, I'm back. I had to pick my baby up from her boxing class. Okay, and so I had to go back and review where I was at, and basically what I'm just trying to get to is we're really not here to choose sides. This is what they want us to think. What we are here to do is balance scales. Okay? And so both sides are corrupt. Even if they let us have elections, because we don't even know if that's a thing now, because they'll try to start a war or something so it won't occur or that it won't happen or what have you. But all of these things are happening as chaos because this generation needs to understand exactly how chaos is systematic as well. You can see how strategic it is. You can see how they're so connected in their networks and how they cooperate and make all these organizations and their organizations built within organizations, and how deep, we allowed ourselves to go by being unaware. And we're learning the importance and the cons of being unaware. There are a lot of people, we can't do nothing about it. We can't stop. We can't do the thing about it. Yes, you can. You can be aware about it and be what they call like the whistleblowers. Because when you bring their darkness to light and expose it, that's how we can stop things. This whole thing with Donald Trump, it's no coincidence. This is the guy they put in, and I mean like as spirit wise to bring down the system. Okay? And so, and I'm not saying like he's a good guy, absolutely not. But he's a very demonic person that God uses. Okay? So the system is going to go down. He's like one of those people, like, let's say, for instance, I'm going to say like this. Let's say if there's a whole group of people, because they're going to regret him, the people that are using him. They think they like it, but they're going to regret him. This is Trump. Trump is so egotistical. He's so, clumsy. He's so sloppy. Just by him being himself, this is what brings the whole system down. You know what? If it wasn't for Trump acting like he is and doing all things, all this wouldn't have got uncovered. They've been flying under the radar for a very long time. Okay? We would have never noticed if it wasn't for Trump. Trump brought all this stuff to the forefront and brought it to our awareness. It's almost like, let's say, it's like a group of people got together to do a bank heist, right? Trump is one of the type of people, he's like, yeah, he can do this and he can do that. And all these other people can do all this. and they successfully heisted, the bank. Well, because of his ego, because of, his pride, he's one of the ones in the group, even though the group got away successfully. He's the one in the group that would go to a bar and you know with his money and buy everybody, the drinks and get real loud and get real obnoxious and be like, yeah, we just heisted a bank and we got away with so and so meal and Joey did this and John was the grease man and so, he's the one that would get talking and put everything out there, and then they mess around and get caught, and then he's in there having a whole tell-all trying to save his own ass, right? He's one of them. He's one of the cluster, right? He F's it all up. And even though they successfully got away what they were doing for decades, now you put this cluster F in, now everything is getting exposed. This is the one they should have been cut off, because he don't know how to close his mouth. He doesn't know how to, keep his composure. He don't know how to, he just don't know how to act. So the whole purpose of all this happening, like I said before, he has a lot of built up karma and a lot of built up things from all the evil he's done on this earth. And God was not, and so, God, the source, is not going to let him get away without him being fully exposed of all the things he's done. He's denying everything, knowing he's done all the murders, the killings, and all these children. It's supposed to come to the light, because right now, Source is tired of it. It's tired of all the trafficking of children, the enslavement of children, which is, the real Holocaust. The real thing that is going on that nobody seems to care about. So right now, the snake, let me bring it back to that, which is be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, is intake the knowledge and use that knowledge. And this is important for history, because the reason we missed it last time in history is because we weren't the ones writing the history. It was the ones that are victors that want to, make truth the way they want it, so they can look like heroes and not the pedophiles and the rapists and the stuff that they are. Now we write this stuff down for real and let them know what is known, so that our children can identify this type of evil that occurs, but is also to set things in order. When a government can go rogue, then we go back in with order and balance and put all the necessary guards and boundaries. Like I just got finished talking about updating the system, of all those type of things. But first of all, this system has to be cast down to the ground. The swamp has to be drained of all these people that are connected to each other and using each other for money, and the ones that are caught up in the Epstein files, the pedophiles being controlled. That we can't have a just system that way. So it has to go down. This Pam Bundy talking about, well, if we were to prosecute all of them, the government would collapse. Yes, collapse. That's what's going to happen. You mean there's so many pedophiles up in there that if you were to take them all in, the whole government would collapse? Right. So also just be mindful too. There are a lot of Democrats on that side too that still want to connect with Izzy. And we want to be a free country. We want to be free and not being controlled or manipulated by, some people that we don't even really need at all. Okay? So I think that's it. And like, I'm not like a political person. And so as much as it sounds political, because I'm not, it's more about spirit and us calling out those things. And not only that, I don't even know if this cuts off, then I'm probably gonna cut this portion off. There's a thing in the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion is not the Kabbalah, it's the Kabbalion. And it talks about the all is mind and the universe is mental. These people in dark societies and things like that, they know this. They stole all of the information and wisdom from the ancients, and they turned everything into mind control. That's why they always got the CIA, observing the people, monitoring the people, doing certain things to see how the society reacts to certain things, all these biochemical warfares and the food, and they're sitting back putting fluoride in the water. They're sitting back and they're like, how do they react to this? How do they react to that? How do they react to this? And we're just reacting instead of observing and then trying to come to the awareness of the truth. And so they have to have the narrative, the perspective. And that's why it's important, like when the whole thing about anti-Semitism, whatever, they have to control what you think about them. Because if they could control what they think about them, then they could continue to fly under the radar. But the more you keep telling the truth about them, the more we keep changing reality to more of the truth and revealing things for what they are.